Hey people, it's Chris Bourdine here on Music and Moonsaults, and bringing you one last extra special bonus episode for the month of June. Um, I want to do a review of the new KISS Off the Soundboard release, um, and so I'll talk about that a little bit. That came out June 11th. It came out the same day as the Mammoth WVH album did. Um, and I decided to wait on this review and release it today for a very special reason that we'll get to. You can probably guess if you look at the title up at the top, you can kind of maybe have a clue as to why. But before we get to any of that, follow me on Twitter at IbanezChris. And if you could please leave a like on this video and hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. Go over to facebook.com/musicandmoonsaults. I need to get better about posting all the links over there, and I will do that. Just go ahead and give it a like, and I will be a little bit more diligent about posting over there. And then, as always, if you need audio of this, anchor.fm/Christopher. Helps if I know my own name. Bourdine5 is the place to go for that. So as I said, to start off on this video today, first thing I want to talk about KISS Off the Soundboard Tokyo 2001. I heard about this. I can't remember when it was. It's been a few months. It was earlier this year, maybe still even winter time when I heard the rumblings about this project coming up. And it's really cool. I know other bands have done this, but essentially what KISS is going to be doing is this is going to be a series, the Off the Soundboard series, and it's going to be official bootlegs, which is very oxymoronic. You can't have bootleg by definition is unofficial, but you get the gist. It's It's audio from concerts that are taken directly off the soundboard. Someone put a cassette in or had a CD burner at the soundboard, and they recorded the concert from in this case from Tokyo 2001. So now it's being released. They're not touching it up like they, Kiss Alive is famous for having, depending on who you talk to, is how live is it really type of deal. But this is going to be straight off. Like if you look up the YouTube video of this particular concert, you can tell like it's exactly as it was. So warts and all, which is cool. But anyways, so I heard about it and I was super excited for it. So, and especially when I found out that it's going to be a series, this isn't a one and done. And of course, it's got my mind racing about what I'd like to see in future installments. But I think they really picked an interesting one to start out with. I got the vinyl, and it's kind of cool, just a basic package. Nothing fancy, no pictures, no liner notes, nothing like that. There's 3 sleeves in this box here, because this is a 3 LP set. My only complaint about the packaging is that when you go to slide the 3 back in, the little flap here, that folds in to kind of keep it all together, they don't actually, it doesn't go in nicely. It kind of pushes out, so you kind of almost have to like unfold the flap and then fold it back in once you get the records in there, which is kind of a pain. Hopefully, maybe they look into that and maybe do something different down the line. But so the first concert they chose is from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. Duh. From March 13th, 2001. This is during the farewell tour. The first farewell tour when they thought they were calling it quits. And it's an interesting lineup. It's cool. It doesn't have it on my graphic here, but you can see down here it tells you the lineup. And it's Paul Stanley, obviously Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley, and Eric Singer on the drums. Now the story with this is, so they start out on this farewell tour. They're gonna end. They got back together. The original 4 members got back together in 1996, and now we're a few years later, and things have fallen apart again, and so they just want to call it quits, call it a day, and end things. Well, in that process, once they get done with the U.S. leg of the farewell tour, Peter Criss's contract expires, runs out, and they can't come to terms. And they still have a Japanese and an Australian leg of the tour to go. So they call up Eric Singer, who was, the previous, who was the last drummer, before the reunion took place, and they bring him on board to be the Catman character. And it kind of, for me, it's, obviously I've known this story for a while. But in thinking, as this release came out, and just thinking about things, how things might be different had this, had Peter not had his contract expire and he finished out the whole tour, does this kind of become proof of concept for Gene and Paul to be like, because after the fact, Paul has famously said that, he wanted to end the band because he was unhappy, with Ace and Peter in the band. But then once they kind of got out of the way, they realized, oh, well, we don't have to quit. We just have to quit being in the band with those guys. Again. So, and so they bring on Eric Singer to be the Catman, and they bring on Tommy Thayer to be the Spaceman. And so it's kind of a proof of concept in my mind that, once they do these 2 legs of this tour in Japan and Australia, and they don't hide, contrary to what the original 4 only fans, one of their gripes is, that it's misleading or whatnot. They're very clear. They say multiple times that it's Eric Singer on drums, not Peter Criss. So it's not like they were hiding, like trying to pass Eric off as Peter. That wasn't happening. So to me, this is kind of like the proof of concept that, hey, we can bring in other people to play these characters and be in this band, and we can continue with those. And they have for 20 years now. They're finally going to get back out on the road to finish up this end of the road tour, which is supposed to be the final. We'll see. Part of me hopes so, because I've spent lots of money seeing them on this tour. But then again, part of me was like, I don't really want them to go anywhere because they're my favorite band of all time. So, but anyways, other than that, there's not much to this. It's a really, basic, for the most part, it's a basic set list that they've been doing for the last 20-25 years, with a few exceptions. One of the cool things about the farewell tour is that Gene and Paul kind of was like, all right, well, if we're going to go out, we need to represent all eras of the band, not just the original 4 era. So they start playing songs like I Love It Loud, which was technically, Ace is on the cover of the Creatures of the Night album, but he didn't play a note on that album, and Peter was already long gone. So that's kind of cool. And then they do 2 non-makeup songs, Heaven's on Fire and Lick It Up. And, Lick It Up has been a staple now ever since this point in every set list. Every tour, pretty much, they play Lick It Up. Heaven's on Fire has been in and out. So so that was cool. A couple other cool things. So because, and I'm guessing, Unmasked was a huge album in Australia. And since they were doing kind of these legs back to back, I'm guessing that they just kind of rehearsed, one set for both legs of the tour and called it a day, because Talk to Me, which is an Ace song off of Unmasked, is on here, which is really cool. I really like that song. Shout out to Spencer Love. We have a mutual admiration. We're flying the flag for Super Kiss. And if you don't know what Super Kiss is, it's like this version of Kiss, with the you might also call them Vegas Kiss, because they're kind of the flashier costumes with the bright colors and stuff like that, instead of just black and silver leather and stuff like that. But so Talk to Me, that was a really cool. I love that. I really like that song, so I'm glad that was on here. And then the other cool thing that Paul was doing before he starts, when he's doing the intro to Black Diamond, he takes a minute and does the first verse and chorus of I Still Love You, which is another song off of the Creatures of the Night album. And that was cool, especially back then. The Unplugged, album had been out for 5 years or whatever at this point, and that was a real big part of that performance, was Paul's vocal on I Still Love You, where he just holds that note for forever. It's just one of the great vocal performances of Paul Stanley's career. Speaking of, he's still singing, he's still Paul Stanley, prime Paul Stanley at this point. They're still playing in the, the regular Kiss E-flat tuning on all these songs. But yeah, other than that, Detroit Rock City, Deuce, Shout It Out Loud, I love it. Firehouse they don't play as much anymore because they use War Machine as the fire breathing song. But Do You Love Me, Callin' Dr. Love, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, Shock Me goes in and out. Sometimes they have Tommy sing it, sometimes they don't. Psycho Circus, God of Thunder, Cold Gin, 100,000 Years, Love Gun, Black Diamond, I Was Made for Loving You, Rock and Roll All Night. All pretty much standard to this day, and you really can't argue with that. So, like I said, I really like it. I would give this 5 stars, but since it was recorded in the Tokyo Dome, I'm going to give it 8 stars. My wrestling friends will understand that reference. Now, back to why I waited till today to release this review. Well, June 28th, 1996, at a little place called Tiger Stadium. The first concert on the reunion tour. And I was there. I was 10 years old. And I went with my dad. And it was really cool. So I'm going to bring my dad on. And we're kind of going to give our recollections of it.
Yeah.
All right. As I said, I was hoping to have my dad on to talk about this Tiger Stadium concert. The reason why I'm delaying this off the Soundboard review till today, the 28th, is because today, the 28th, is the. I'm glad you're sitting down, Dad. 25 years.
Nah.
I know.
It's hard to believe that.
Yeah, tell me about it. But so we'll get to that day first. But I want to go over how I remember the chain of events occurring in my mind, and you can kind of interject,
Sure,
if there's anything you have. But so you were on with Kyle in October, and we talked about the broadcast of the Unplugged when Ace and Peter.
Correct.
Came back into the fold for the first time, so to speak. And so from there, the as Kyle makes a little run in. From there, it took a couple months, and then the next thing I remember happening was the Grammy Awards in January, February, sometime in there.
Right.
And for whatever reason, the way my memory works, I remember you and I were watching the Grammy Awards in Grandma's bedroom, because that was our go-to spot to watch TV when we wanted to watch a game or something that no one else wanted to watch.
At that time, yes.
Yes. And I don't think, because no one knew. So it wasn't like we had a heads up or anything like that. But we were just watching the Grammys, and out comes Tupac to present an award, and he says, "We got to shock the people." And out comes the original 4 members of KISS in the Love Gun costumes, walking on the stage.
Makeup.
Yeah, full regalia. And I was 10, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome."
Yep.
What were you thinking when you saw that for the first
time? I was kind of shocked, as you were, but yet it kind of almost came together for me after seeing the Unplugged thing and seeing Ace and Peter with them again.
Yeah.
And then not hearing anything from their camp at all for so long. You were just like, something's in the mix here. And then that happened at the Grammys, and you're just like, now it all makes sense.
Yes. So after that appearance, they do a press conference sometime in March, I think, on the USS Intrepid.
Correct. I was just gonna say on one of the aircraft carriers or something.
I believe Conan O'Brien was the host of that for some reason. For some reason that sticks out to me. And I
think you're right.
That's where they announced the tour, and they announced the first date will be Tiger Stadium in Detroit. And I have been raised a KISS fan. I remember, like, you would go, you'd be like, I won't be home from work tonight because after work I'm heading to the KISS concert. So, on the, revenge tours and the Hot in the Shade tours and stuff like that. And at that time, those tours were no place for a child.
No. I definitely remember the revenge tour at the Palace was definitely no place for a child.
Right. But this was different. This was like, okay, it was like, talk to me about when, like, it was like, all right, I have to take him to this.
Well, it was a no-brainer. The original 4, the makeup, the costumes, all coming back together and getting a chance to share that experience with you. I was like, there's no way we can miss this. There's absolutely no way we can miss this. And even though I didn't really know we were going to get tickets, I had to at least try.
Yeah. So, tickets go on sale sometime in April. I think on the picture, for whatever reason, I couldn't get the picture of the tickets to load on my computer. It was weird, but I'm looking at them, and I'm guessing it was like somewhere around. It was either April 20th or April 6th, because there's on the bottom of the ticket, there's like a 20 and then APR for April and then a 6 afterwards. So somewhere, like, I'm guessing somewhere in that time frame is when the tickets went on sale. I do remember it was, spring. Obviously the concert was in June, so it had to be, but I remember it was semi-warm weather. And
not overnight, it wasn't.
Well, right. Well, go ahead and tell that story. Where did you get the tickets, and how did you procure them?
At that time, of course, tickets weren't online. You stood in line.
Yeah,
that was your line. And so it was a record store in Ann Arbor. I want to say it was Tower Records, but I don't know that for a fact anymore. I can't remember. But anyways, I went and I stood in line overnight. I mean, I must have gotten there at about 10 o'clock at night, maybe even earlier. No, I take that back. Yeah, it was probably 10 o'clock at night. And I stayed the night in line. It was kind of rainy. It was kind of cold. By the morning, I was freezing. I was starving. I was not really prepared for it, but I was staying. There was no way I was leaving.
Right.
And then the excitement of once the tickets went on sale and to actually get them, I was just floored, because you're talking about a whole broad area of people trying to get tickets in individual locations like where I was at all at once.
Yeah.
Kind of like it is with the online sales now. You
Right.
just didn't have to, you had to go somewhere then. But so I had no idea whether I was going to, the payoff was going to be that I was going to get tickets for all of it. And we did.
Yes.
So that I couldn't wait to get home then and tell that we had them,
Yes. Because I want to say tickets went on sale on a Saturday. So you stayed over Friday night, and I remember
Friday night. Yep.
For whatever reason, I remember being maybe I was shooting hoops in the driveway or something, but I remember you pulling in the driveway and telling me you got them, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So you didn't. This is interesting because we never really talked about that. I guess I thought because there was the Ticketmaster, location in the Briarwood Mall in Ann Arbor.
Right. That might have been closed by then.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but I do know that this was also a Ticketmaster location or a place that you could buy concert tickets anyways. And it was at the corner of Northview and Church, I think, in Ann Arbor. Anyways, it's now like a burrito place, but I think it was called Tower Records at the time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna right now I've got a picture of the Tiger Stadium sign with the it says tonight KISS in concert. It's real cool. So I'm going to now I'm gonna put up which one is it here? Is this? Yes. So I've got the Tiger Stadium seating chart on the screen, and there's a little arrow that I made on it pointing at section 504. Which doesn't sound like it's a great section, but you look at the seating chart and where the Detroit Tigers logo is, that's, right around there is where the stage was. It was in that outfield because I remember looking in our seats, looking to our left kind of at the stage.
Yes.
So, and I guess I just figured that we were, way up. And no, these, when you think of it like this, we had pretty good seats. We were section 504, row V, seats 11 and 12.
Yep.
So, and it was a perfect, like, not perfect, obviously, because it was off to the side, but they were good seats. And, it was a nice view. I think didn't we go with a friend of Mom's from work and her husband at the time?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Her name escapes me now, sadly.
Starts with an L.
Yeah.
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 Lena? Something like
Lena.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
There
Lena
we go.
Sparks.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Yep. Her and her husband.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they were with us, and so I remember, I don't know what time we left, but I remember we got up there. I don't think we stopped and ate on the way. Like, I don't remember that.
I don't recall.
I remember meeting them at their place, and then I think they followed us. I don't think they rode with us, because I remember you and I walking to and from the arena by ourselves. And I think you and I parked at like Wayne State somewhere.
It could have been.
I remember.
I know it was a little bit of a walk.
It was a little bit of a walk. But we got in. They had the inflatable KISS figures. Each member had their own giant inflatable on the outside, and it was KISS World, man. There were people in costume, in makeup. I had never seen anything like it. I mean, this was only my second real concert. The month before, we went and saw Garth Brooks at the Palace. And that, that was something, but that was nothing. That was nothing like this
compared to this.
Yeah. It was nothing.
Yeah.
And then I remember we got in line for you to get your shirt, and I've got that on. I remember the shirt you got. I've got a picture of that on the screen. It's it's them in the poses from the Destroyer album cover, and beneath them is the globe with they're kind of standing on North America, and the KISS logo is behind them, and it's in there's an American flag in the logo. And I think on the back it said something about, Tiger Stadium or something like that. But I remember the front of the shirt vividly. That's the shirt that you bought.
Of all the shirts that I've ever bought in my entire life, that's the one that I wish I'd have just wrapped up and put away.
Right.
And I still had it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I don't think it would fit either one of us right now, but still it'd be nice to have.
It would.
And then we got to our seats. There were two opening acts. The first one was they were a local band, and I think they had a little bit of success nationally. They were called Sponge. They had a minor hit with the song "Plowed." It got played all the time here. I'm not sure about nationwide how much they got played, but I know here it was on the radio a lot. And
the Riff played it all the time.
Yes, they were a big band around here. So they opened. We caught the tail end of their set. We saw them play "Plowed" and maybe a couple other songs, but we caught the very tail end of their set. And then Alice in Chains opened, which was originally supposed to be Stone Temple Pilots, but this was one of the times where Scott Weiland was, doing Scott Weiland things, and they had to back out, and so we got Alice in Chains instead, which was cool.
Spectacular. They were great.
Yeah. I mean, they were big at the time. I know you were really into them at the time. I was into them. I think the month after this is when their Unplugged album came out, and I know I had that on CD.
Yep.
So yeah, and they were really good. And then KISS came out, and it was like just waiting.
Well, that's what I was just going to bring up. With every opening band, they have to remove equipment to get out of the way of the headliner, and it can be excruciating, but in this case, it was doubly so.
Yes. But eventually, they get it, and I don't know what the time frame was. I'm guessing it was probably at least a half an hour. But and then they get the kabuki curtain is up, with the giant KISS logo on it, and that low sustained keyboard note starts, and you get the intro. All right, Detroit, you wanted the best, you got the best house band in the world. KISS, big explosion, curtain drops. And there they are, and they start ripping into Deuce. And I remember, I don't remember the whole set list. I've watched the concert probably tens of times in the year since. I usually watch it every year around this time. But what I've always remembered is that they opened with Deuce, followed by King of the Nighttime World, and I thought that was cool because it was the first song on Kiss Alive and the second song Kiss Alive too. Yeah, they played back to back. So but yeah, and then they did the whole show. That was the first time I saw Gene fly. I knew he was gonna spit blood during his solo and that, but I had no idea he was gonna fly like that. And
correct.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And Ace did his solos, and they had the giant cherry pickers for the end of the show that brought them kind of out over the front of the crowd. The Peter's drum riser raised.
Didn't it have the cats on the scrim on the front of it, just like normal?
I will say, looking at the time, I didn't care. Looking back on it now, I am a little disappointed that they didn't do a little bit closer. I mean, they were wearing the Love Gun costumes. I wish they would have tried a little harder to get closer to the Love Gun stage, because that's just an iconic stage of theirs with the stairs and all that. And this was just kind of like, okay, here's a bunch of speakers, there's a KISS logo and a giant screen underneath that, and that's it. It was kind of plain. But again, at the time, I didn't care. I was 10 years old. I was seeing my favorite band in person for the very first time. So,
and reunited and in costume and in, So,
yeah. But yeah, that's all I remember. I remember, I to go to this, I missed the last day of, or the last night of Vacations Bible School.
Oh, right. Yep.
Because they were going to do, I think they were going to do like some sort of thing where they camped out in the field across from the church or something.
Right.
There's something that they were going to do special. And I'm like, I'm not going to be there. Sorry.
Yeah. You do what you want, but I'm going to see Kiss.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to believe it's been 25 years already, but it's that way with a lot of stuff I talk about on this channel. It's like, man, has it been that long? And it has.
Right. When you think about it, in your mind that it was 96, but still processing that to, it's 2021. Yeah. Okay. That would be 25 years.
Yeah.
You just don't really, on a normal basis, you don't think about it. You connect the dots after the fact. You're like, wow. Yeah. It has been that long. So,
yeah. So,
but I mean, to me, it was doubly special because I had seen him a few times with makeup and that, and only once with the original lineup, and that was the Dynasty tour. But to be able to see them again was enough of excitement, but then to be able to share it with one of my sons.
Yeah.
Now, at this point was you, because Kyle wasn't really old enough to go to concerts in that yet, but so to be able to pass that torch along, knowing all, because we had watched the videos and whatever of them the whole time. So I knew your excitement level. So then to actually see it live. And I remember turning and looking at you a few times during the show just to see what your reaction was at different things. And it's just, that's something that you can't ever take away from me.
I remember playing a lot of air guitar. And I remember a guy in the row ahead of us at one point looking back and seeing me doing the air guitar, and he was like, rock on, little dude.
Yep.
It was something. It was something. So,
yeah.
And it's one of those things that the love of KISS that's been passed down from you to me and Kyle, and just music in general has led us to, being in a band together. And speaking of,
and occasionally playing a KISS song.
Yeah. Occasionally we pull out a KISS song.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be starting firing things back up here in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We got
excited
our
for that
first gig in like 18 months coming up July 10th, and hopefully, as things open up, this leads to more. But you can follow all of our exploits over at facebook.com/KevinBourdainBand or KevinBourdainBands.bandcamp.com.
Yep.
So, and then also YouTube, we have a YouTube channel, so just search Kevin Bourdain Band. Our EP that's 5 years old already is on Spotify or app, iTunes or wherever.
Yep.
So, yeah. So just check us out, and especially if you're in your Southeast Michigan, Northwest Ohio area, we're come check us out. It's a good time. People seem to like us.
Coming to rock your face.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks, Dad. You're going to stick around, and we're going to record another little podcast here that'll be out soon. And until that time, guys, see ya.